Welcome to our second podcast episode. My name's Hayden,
I'm Brian.
and today we're going to go over France and Spain. We'll touch on the biggest game coming up of our lives tomorrow, and then just go into like our predictions, and while also covering how we thought the quarterfinal matches went. We were both out of town, so we didn't have time to do those match reactions, but we're here now, so let's get started. Let's dive in just because it happened just barely, but Spain and France.
Yeah.
So, like a stale croissant, France crumbled.
Like
Just
a steel croissant. Man. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
so
disappointing.
disappointing for France. Yeah, I think people slept on the fact that Spain won the Euros 2 years ago. And a crazy stat with Yamal in the lineup, I couldn't believe it, but they've yet to lose a competitive match when he's playing for Spain. And that record right now is 21 wins, six draws, zero losses.
Wow.
So pretty
It's
incredible.
impressive. I mean, I wouldn't write it up to just Lamine Yamal, but I mean, he's a fantastic player. I think it comes down to people just have looked at France as this powerhouse and forget that there's other powerhouses. Spain just reminded us of that. We've put France on this pedestal. We've expected, which to be honest, I still on paper, I think France is probably you play them 10 times, France is going to win the majority of those games. But today, Spain came out and showed them, hey, there's other teams here that can play.
Absolutely.
Totally just shut down France's offensive momentum, just unlike any other game we've seen so far. And I think you're right. They win the Euros. We were kind of disappointed. Like I remember they won the Euros, but they get into the tournament. They slow start. Kind of not super impressed as what I would classify as the number two or number one team. I think they were favored to win World Cup going into it. In the rankings, I think they were at two or three going into the cup. But yeah, they reminded us today that they are a powerhouse. So everyone looked over that. I overlooked it, and here we are. Now we're
Yeah.
all hopes are on England to defeat Argentina.
Yeah, I think if people had brackets, they definitely got busted today.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I did.
I think I had to listen to the game and catch glimpses of it while I was working today, but it sounded to me like exactly like you were saying. Spain didn't allow France to have any build-up play. They kind of neutralized Olise, and Mbappe was kind of forced to do what I've seen him do on Real Madrid, where he's kind of left on his own and then he's just taking shots when he can. But they didn't even have a shot until I think the second half. And
Crazy statistics.
yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah, they had like zero offense until pretty much halfway into the second half. I mean, then they started realizing like, hey, we got to turn this on. And I think that's something that, teams are realizing like you got to have an offensive, attack from the get-go. Where they just play possession, possession, possession. They're not really creating the opportunities to score, which to be honest, I've seen the Latino countries, they're attacking, they're creating these opportunities from the get-go. I've seen goals be scored. Of course, we see France score them. We've seen some of these other countries, but it seems like their main goal is possession rather than creating this offensive attack and creating space up top.
Mhm.
Keeping the ball is priority for them, which of course we all know that typically possession wins games, but um, yeah, I think that kind of killed France. They kept relying on, midfield to create. Spain was shutting them down. We just didn't see any options till, yeah, second halfway through the second half.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to especially these international matches, you can have the best forward and the most dangerous attack. But if the battle in the midfield is lost, then it doesn't really matter. And that's what happened today with Rodri just absolutely having back to his Balloon d'Or form
Today was a Rodri game, dude. This
pre
was,
pre ACL, shirt tucked in Manchester City Rodri, like in
yep.
full effect. And when he's in that mode, it's hard to stop him, and he's going to shut you down and control that midfield, and that's exactly what he did. And interesting that the first goal, yours the ball, he has a PK. Did you think that was a PK? What are your thoughts on that? Did you watch the replays?
I mean, I think it just comes down to I think they're getting too soft with PKs these days. Like the PK's got to stand out to the ref. Like whether it is or not, when you review it, it's debatable.
So,
It's
so I'll
hard.
say this. There was one, Modric had the same PK, if you remember. Modric had the same PK.
Hmm.
And then Kane had the same PK against Mexico. So it's a situation where the defensive player does not see the opponent coming in and they kick the ball, right? And it ends up being the body of the person who's sliding in at the exact moment. And so, according to the rules, I was watching a video with a ref, and he was saying it if the opponent is needs to be aware of the opponents around them when they go and make a move like that, which I think it reminds me a lot in basketball when a player's going up and they pump fake and then they draw the contact, and Yamal definitely knew exactly what he was doing, moving in his body like that to draw that contact. So part of me is like, that just stinks for Luca Digne who did that. Um, and then part of me is thinking Yamal's kind of drawing this PK.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a crappy way to score, but anyways, I mean the rules are the rules. They score the PK, and then later Pedro Porro puts it in. Who I'm a big Pedro Porro fan. I think he's inconsistent on Tottenham because of who he has to play with. But
Hmm.
when he's on Spain, he's solid, and he's an attacking defender, which is just perfect for today's game. So overall, I was impressed with Spain, and I think they're going to be a formidable foe for whoever comes out of Argentina, England.
Yeah, I think when Spain turns it on, they've got arguably what I thought was the best midfield coming out with France. I think Spain can definitely give them a run for their money. And so yeah, it's tricky because I'm sitting here trying to think, I'm already looking forward to the next game, England going, I'm assuming they're just going to go by Argentina. It's no walk in the park. They've got VAR to deal with, they've got Messi to deal with. It's going to be a hard game tomorrow, but I think you can pick apart Spain for England anyways easier than you can pick apart France. Not to take away any credit from Spain's wonderful win today. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in this final, but I'm still kind of shocked with today's win, to be honest. Like France just didn't seem to capitalize, and it wasn't that necessarily France played bad. It's just Spain shut them down, plain and simple. They
Yeah.
totally took Elise out of the game. Like Elise was not that creative midfielder that you typically see creating these, chance after chance. Look at the goal that just didn't exist. It was
Well,
it was forced chances that we were looking at, going into the second half.
and France has such a deep bench. I was surprised that they didn't kind of pull out all the stops. I mean, most of the French bench didn't even get used this whole tournament. And so I was kind of underwhelmed by what the changes that they made. It wasn't enough, is too late. And I think looking at France's results, though, in the last few games, they've been kind of underwhelming. They had that late, only against Paraguay, they had one PK goal against Morocco. They won 2-0, but I think in the end, they just didn't actually have what everybody kind of overrated them offensively.
Yeah.
But I mean, Spain was really their first tough match, and it kind of showed that actually what pays more in a World Cup, especially, is experience. And Spain has all the experience. They've just come off of a Euros win together. Yamal, Rodri, all these experienced winners, Laporte, and not to mention that they've only allowed one goal and they have six shutouts. They just set the record for the most shutouts in a World Cup. And so, I mean, that stat alone should scare any team that's going to come up against them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think whoever's going to play them in the finals has to look at getting past that defense. There were a few moments they could have capitalized when the keeper had come out kind of crazily and could have scored there. I
Was
mean,
that Dule that had the ball at that point?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that should have been a goal. That like totally 100%. I mean, all you needed to do was chip the ball over. We see them do crosses, switches all the time, landing it on the ball on, their teammate's foot from across the field. Same thing, just put that into the goal. Yeah, they just choked in the moments where they needed to score. Um, but you're right. I want to go back to what you said about Spain. It's something we've all overlooked. I think we've all been impressed with the offensive capability that France has shown, but it's almost more impressive. And we've just overlooked it and just kind of stayed focused on France, this powerhouse team that's got all these stars. Spain's defense is shutting people down. I mean,
I was always shocked when Laporte, he was on Manchester City and then he kind of moved off and I think he went to Saudi Arabia.
yeah, I think he went to
He's still playing and so when he shows up for Spain, I'm always like, oh dang, like
they're using this old guy, but he's
he's great.
yeah, he's still a tier one player. I mean, he's playing at the elite level. He's showing consistency in the big games. He's fundamentally sound. I mean, that's what you need in these games, though. Like,
Yeah,
you need players that play fundamentally. And then
fundamental.
you need one or two creative players that can take the ball and take it to the next level, create a couple opportunities, but you need the rest of the team to just be fundamental, cohesive, which is exactly what Spain has. They're all a team. Their experience with each other, I would definitely say they're the most, I mean, aside from Argentina, the most unified team.
Yeah, and I was gonna say this, like in World Cups and international, it's always the best team. It's never the team that has one or two stars, which we're gonna get into England, but they've yet to have a team match. I felt like Mexico's their closest one, but where everybody's firing on all cylinders. I mean, Yamal's good, but he really hasn't done much this tournament. And it just goes to show that Spain is all playing together enough that it
Yeah.
kind of papers over individuals not really having the best game, but they're still all contributing. So,
But
anyways, that's
it's changed. Yeah. The group stage and the first round or two, it's the story is that the stars are the ones making their appearance. You get further in the tournament, I think that's exactly right. You start seeing the team efforts start winning out. Spain has stars. Spain has Yamal. Spain has, I love Williams, and I know he comes off the bench. I think there's a ton of offensive potential with Williams, his ability to create opportunities. He's a dangerous player, but ultimately, Spain is playing as a team, which is yeah, England's going to have to do so to beat Argentina. Argentina is definitely a team effort organization. They'll do anything for each other. They've got each other's backs. Uh, on paper, each player, think, I think they're probably of the four teams that were in the semifinals, they're number four. But in terms of their unity as a team, their ability to read their own players, they're number one. Spain's number two, and today we saw Spain go through, and England's got to pick up the ball tomorrow in order to beat Argentina. Because yeah, it's this tournament's been just full of surprises. I'm excited for tomorrow's game. I'm looking forward to that part of the conversation. As you can tell, I want to talk about the three lions, but yeah, it's their time. I just feel like it's their time.
yeah, it's reminiscent of like in 2016 when Portugal wasn't necessarily the best team in the Euros 2016.
Mhm.
They gutted it out and got lucky. And I think England's one of those teams where they can play good but still lose. And they're rarely the team that gets lucky and they were the worst team, but they won, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so let's get into the Norway England game. So that game from the get-go, I was feeling a little nervous. I saw on the screen how it was like 88 degrees with 67 humidity and was just like they're freaking playing in a shower. And you could tell from the get-go that both teams were struggling a little bit with the heat and that they were conserving energy. England comes out, they're possessing like 80% of the ball. And then out of nowhere, that Norway striker comes down. He shoots it. I don't know about you, but my jaw literally dropped, and just the whole room went quiet, and the whole stadium went quiet except for Norway.
Yeah.
Like even the Norway fans couldn't believe what had just happened. Like it was so they hadn't even had a shot on goal, and he hits that ball, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's out. It hits off the post. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, totally out of nowhere. I don't even think he was expecting it to go in. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the whole stadium was the same way. It's just like, oh, play, 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 ripped it and then goal.
yeah.
And we're all just sitting there like, uh-oh. Like,
Now
whoa.
I was reading reports that like Chelsea, Liverpool are all chasing that striker. That always happens. Someone has an amazing goal, and
Yeah.
all these teams come thinking that you're like amazing, but. Anyways, yeah, so they score, and then I'm thinking, okay, England have their work cut out for them. And England do this so much. They possess really well, but it doesn't lead anywhere. They weren't attacking, they weren't having shots. I mean, at the end of the game, they had about the same shots Norway did. And I was kind of disappointed in Harry Kane, didn't have the best game, and he was flopping and like the goal, what led to the goal, if you remember, he got his ankles clipped by a player and he immediately grabs his ankles and falls and it gives him a clear pathway to the goal. And if he had just kept his feet, he could have, battled it out. And
Yeah.
the whole game, he was just going up to the ref and just like whining and
I've
complaining.
noticed that with Kane. He's and I don't want this to sound like I'm purely just defending England and not, and then I attack other teams with this type of mindset.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
got that friend that we all know who, well, me and you know who we're talking about, but he'll accuse me of not liking the Latin America teams. So here's me making an excuse for Kane. I agree. I don't like seeing that style of play. I wish we just had this honest soccer where we just played, let a foul be a foul. We don't need to draw it. We got to remember Harry Kane's the captain of England, and there's huge expectations. And I think there's a pressure to just make sure every aspect of the game. These guys are professionals. So every aspect of the game, not just their touch, not just the fundamentals of their position, but they also got to play the technicalities. There's absolutely a strategy and a technique to strategic drawing of fouls, is how I like to call it when it's a player I like. If it's a
yeah,
player I don't like, it's a flop, but we'll call it a flop. Harry Kane's flopping strategically. Um, Again, I wish he would do what you said and just, you got the advantage, take it. Uh,
yeah,
don't play the technicality, but I think that added pressure of being the captain of England, you know, people think Brazil's fans are crazy, which they are. Argentina's fans are crazy, which they are. I don't think anyone else understands that England's fans are also very crazy. It's always coming home.
hmm
We see the tabloids every World Cup. I mean, this is serious for them. This is big. They're not just cheering on their country. This is everything to their fans. So there's that added pressure of being the captain and making sure that he plays the technicalities. He can't let a play go by where they, judge him for not doing the right thing. Make sure that England always has the advantage. If that means creating the foul to make sure they get the ball, there's the advantage. So this is me defending Harry Kane in his flopping, but yeah, I don't like seeing England do that because they're not relying on their abilities to create plays.
right. And that's what it comes down to. I think English players do really well in the Premier League because they are rock solid at the fundamentals, the basics, the technicalities, the technical ability. But when it comes to creative play, that's kind of been a struggle in a lot of tournaments. And so I think who's been a big standout is Jude Bellingham because he's crossing that kind of threshold of actually delivering and creating out of nothing for England. And they haven't had a player be able to do that for a really long time. And for me, I mean, I was like, how old is Jude again? He's like 25, 26. No, he's only 23.
He's
And
as old as he is. I thought he's Holland's age. How
he's
old's Holland?
25.
That,
And
yeah, okay.
he carries himself like an older player. I mean, he's clearly going to be the captain of England in a few years, like without a doubt.
If Kane's not back next World Cup, he's captain next World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And the things that I really like from Jude is just his outright his work rate, his hustle, his kind of fear nothing attitude, and just get it done. And I've been really pleased with it. He's been a huge standout. I mean, he's the first player to score in back-to-back knockout games with a brace since Maradona. And so, I mean, he's doing things that other players just simply haven't. And so I'm really excited to see him match up. Like he's just fearless. And so I'm excited to see him go up against Argentina and then hopefully Spain, where you've got that Yamal Jude bubbling rivalry kind of coming
Oh
out.
yeah,
Barcelona,
yeah.
Real Madrid.
Barcelona, Madrid.
Yeah. And whenever Jude scores, he usually is like, vamos, vamos. So he really lives into like he leans into his kind of Spanish club.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was really pleased with him. And I'm pleased with Thomas Tuchel. I like as a coach when he was on Chelsea, Bayern Munich. I'm like, is he a good coach? Who is this guy? He's very emotional. Actually, and I actually like that a lot, especially in like World Cup for England. So he made those changes, and I think the changes he makes make sense, but the players don't do what the changes are supposed to. And I liked watching him switch Eze over to the left after that wasn't really working in the middle. He brings on Jed Spence. He takes Declan Rice. At half, I was like, they need to get Madueke off the field. I do not know what Madueke does. He must do the most amazing things in training because I he's got people fooled. He's a starter for Arsenal. He's a starter for England, and I've never seen him do something that makes me think he's worthy of starting. So I was immediately after he dribbled out of bounds 3 times, I'm like, Saka has got to get in the match. Even if he's not 100%, they need Saka. And then I was shocked when Declan Rice came off at half. I just was like, what are we doing? And then I mean, he did look leggy and tired. And then afterwards, Tuchel said that he had been bedridden with illness for 3 days straight. So he wasn't fit. And so
Yeah.
they take him off and then they take, and I Gordon was creating actually the most for England. If you noticed, he was kept taking his man one-on-one and crossing it in.
I
Really, really pleased.
Gordon, I mean, even if it's not leading to translating to a huge amount of goals, the nonstop pressure he gives a team is, I, I mean, we talked about what players we're seeing, in the whole tournament, but England alone, the two players I'm seeing that are just standing out to me are Jude Bellingham and Gordon.
Yeah, and Gordon was a former Newcastle United player, so he was my boy. But he's good Gordon and he's bad Gordon. He's good Gordon when it's big games. He's sometimes bad Gordon when he doesn't care as much. And what I mean is when he came from Everton over to Newcastle, he was a rock. He had a slow start actually. It took him a while to transition. He
Yeah.
was really young. It was his first team move. And then he got going and the Carabao Cup year 24-25, incredible year, like scoring left and right. Him and Isak were working really well. And then once Isak left to Liverpool, the rat, uh, Anthony Gordon then wanted to be the number one guy and wasn't really producing. And I could just tell in his body language, he didn't care. He did not, I think he scored 7 goals total, and like two of them were from open play or something. The rest were just PKs.
Yeah.
But but he showed up in the Champions League because those games mattered to him. And so I think what we're getting is good Gordon, where he's showing up for these games. He's hyped. He's going to go all out. And when he goes all out, he's incredibly fast and he's super creative. And so I think if he can do that again, then England are in a good spot. He has to just go, go, go at his guy. I don't care if he loses it because I know Gordon's going to hustle to it and try to get that cross in. Whereas Madueke's when he gets on the ball, I'm like, he does not have a clue what he's doing with it. And so I hope Saka's fit and he can start. I liked Eze in the midfield. I think defensively, I want to see the pairing of Guehi and John Stones. And then I think I love seeing Dan Burn come in. He's Newcastle, big Dan Burn, freaking love him. He just gets to every ball, and he's 6'7". He's awesome.
Yeah.
So I
Big
love.
Stamper.
And then it's interesting that Rashford hasn't really seen the field since he kind of had that bad second game, and so that tells me Tuchel's, he's really if someone's not playing good, he doesn't care who they are. They're not going to
He's
see.
there to win. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there to win. And so, but I like having Rashford on the bench because if it hits that 70th minute and they need some fresh, fire, I do like seeing him come off the
Fresh
bench.
legs and someone that's, rocket fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, Gordon, interesting stat with Gordon. I just looked it up to confirm it, but he has set the speed record this World Cup at almost 24 miles an hour. That is that is faster than the fastest speed ever recorded in the NFL.
Really?
Half a mile an hour faster
Than like Tyreek Hill or someone who
than
said
Tyreek Hill. I think set the record is like 23.2 miles an hour. This might be like
that is
23.5.
fast.
But
And that's
that
really
just shows, the speed that Gordon offers. And you're talking about good Gordon. He's definitely playing good Gordon soccer right now. When he plays like that and it's relentless pressure on the defense, there's no such thing as just a general, our defense plays like this. You have to adapt to a player like that. And
yeah.
so it's forcing teams to adapt. And so England needs to rely on that. And it almost needs to be where, hey, Gordon, if you get the ball, we don't even care if you're scoring the goals. You got to attack at them.
Yeah, yeah,
You got
yeah.
to go at your player. You got to beat them. If you lose it, you fight to get it back. I don't care. Rest when you don't have the ball, but when you have the ball, you need to be a threat every time.
Well, no, and
Every time.
yeah, and I think the battle once again is going to come in the midfield. And okay, so Norway, bless their hearts, they had a great tournament. The
Mhm.
world fell in love with them. The road cheer, amazing.
Yeah.
Holland,
Probably
Holland,
the
Holland.
sweetheart of the tournament is
You
Norway.
heard of the tournament award, Norway.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yep.
And I feel sorry for him because I would have rather seen Norway play like Argentina because I think that would have been a more enjoyable match and seeing
Yeah.
that dynamic.
We gotta have the three Lions win.
Heart has to break, yeah. And so I feel bad for him, but they had a great tournament. Holland played his guts out. I think he just got way too tired, and I liked that, like I was saying in our last podcast, these players knew how to play against Holland, and they neutralized him by just never letting him get the ball. Like any opportunity, they had two players between the ball and him.
Yep.
Never touched it. He had one header that went straight to Pickford, and that was it.
Yep.
And then he just, I think, got so tired they just had to take him out. But great tournament from him. Love him to death. But
And
sorry.
another player, though, too, just real quickly, even when he doesn't score, it forces defenses to adapt and to play towards a player, which if the team can capitalize on that, shift that the other team has to do, these players can be dangerous even when we think that they're not producing anything by shots on goals or anything. They're still dangerous players. But you're right, Holland, fantastic tournament. I mean, in my view, kind of the standout player of the tournament so far. First World Cup, makes a run for Golden Boot, leads a pretty non-existent, historically.
They're ranked
National League.
31.
Yeah, and takes them to the quarterfinals in a pretty tough bracket and lineup too. So it's props to Norway, but
Yeah.
they had to go.
Yep.
We need a win for the
We gotta-
motherland.
yeah, and I was actually pleased with that win because that was a win for England where it was like, you didn't play your best, but you were lucky and won. And I'd rather be lucky than good in tournaments that you kind of have to be.
And kind of a wake-up game before we play Argentina.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's good to have those games like people might be like, oh, they're getting scored on. But no, for a team to come back down, that's a lot for a team to be like, okay, if that happens again, we know we've done it once, we can do it again.
Yeah.
And so leading into our preview of the greatest match tomorrow.
The
That
greatest since what was it, 1986 that they last
well,
played
yeah, so I was gonna say
in
they're
a knockout round?
yeah, they're one of the few international rivalries like across the ocean type where you've
Mm.
got a European South American rivalry and it goes back far. I mean, they haven't played that many times actually. The last time, when was the last time England and Argentina played?
Let's see. Was it in 2000? Was it in 2014?
Nope.
Was it? Okay, I'll do one more guess. Was it a recent World Cup?
No, it wasn't even a World Cup. No.
Oh, outside of World Cup. When was the last time
So
they played?
it was a friendly November 12th, 2005 was the last time they've met.
This game's gonna be
Oh,
crazy.
this is huge, dude. So 1986 was the hand of God.
That's the one that really kind of. I
Start,
mean,
down the old
that's how they play is south of the border.
yeah,
And even if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
right. And
Yeah.
so for most people know, but Maradona jumps up with the keeper and hits it with his hand. It goes in.
Clearly, non-debatable, totally hands ball.
Well, he
Not
does
even
that
close.
like fast punch.
Yeah, just
It is hard to with the naked eye. I mean, it's fast. Like
especially from any angle except the angle where you see the hand.
yeah, yeah.
Any other angle, you in real motion, you wouldn't know, but you watch it from the correct angle and slow it down at half speed, and you're like, how did this get
Yeah.
counted?
I'll have to post a picture of
And they went on. That wasn't the World Cup final, but I
oh,
think it was the semifinal or quarterfinal, and Argentina went on to win it, and I think England
quarterfinal.
quarterfinal. Okay, so Argentina ended up going on to win it, and they got there through going on to England. England sees that as that should have been their cup because they should have beat Argentina, who did end up winning it, and so Yeah, England always thinks the cup is theirs, but they've got one trophy on their belt, and don't get me wrong, I want them to get a second trophy this tournament around. So let's start building that trophy case.
Yeah, and I'll have to post the picture while we're talking of that. I mean, Maradona gets some height. He's got some hops, and he really
Yeah,
gets up there, but just not quite enough. He needs an extra.
just a little.
And then past that, you've got the 1998, if you remember Beckham and Diego Simeone, where
Oh, yep, yep.
he gets his red card, and Beckham, I mean, that like
Beckham got death threats for that. I mean, that was
that he was the enemy number one for like a couple years in England.
turn it
And
back. Yeah.
I mean, that could have derailed his career. Luckily, he put his head down, went to work on United, and then had that.
Luckily, he had Sir Alex Ferguson
Yeah.
because
And
he would have been any other manager. He would have been crumbled under. I don't know if you've seen the Beckham documentary. I take it you have on Netflix, but
so good.
yeah, it talks about how Alex Ferguson brought him under his wing and brought the whole team around and said, we are a team. We are
Yeah.
not going to let this. We are going to stick up for him anytime we can. And yeah, I think that kind of saved him. But yeah, again, that shows how serious England takes this. He gets a red card, gets sent off. The entire country blames him for it. Death threats. I mean, that's the type of pressure Harry Kane's under. So he doesn't want to be public enemy number one by, it could be a little thing, but if that's the little thing that they at the end of the game they look at and said, had you just drawn that foul in the box, we would have got the PK and we would have won the game. They'll hang you for it. That's the type of pressure that's coming from England.
And I mean, I think what motivates Harry Kane is his PK miss in the last tournament where he
Yeah.
skied it, or was that in the Euros?
No, I think he missed a PK in the World
Yes.
Cup against
I think when they lost. Look it up while I'm talking. So, but yeah, I think that like tomorrow could be huge, right? Like we had the hand of God. I think in 1966 they also played each other and England won, but Argentinians complained that the goal, which was a 1-0 match, was offsides. And so like there's also just a history with England where, red cards, Rooney with his against Portugal, just like unluckiness, and
yeah.
the fans and media kind of know that, and they are really pessimistic when it comes to England in big games and tournaments. And so I'm really praying that this can just be once and for all, Welcome back. Just kidding. We're
Technical difficulties.
technical difficulties. We're back. No, what I was saying was England just have a history of pessimism around their team, and like they're just, they never can get it done. And I think this is a huge, huge opportunity where they can go in strong, just like press from the beginning. I mean, like this Argentine team, they can beat. Like looking at the Premier League players again on England, they face Enzo Fernandez repeatedly. They face Romero on Tottenham. These are players that they regularly come up against and have good records against. They're familiar with them. The one thing that Argentina has is that they play as a team. And I think if England can just put their heads down, press hard, create hard, go like attack these players, be aggressive, that they'll win. And I think it can be a 2-0, 3-1 win. I don't want it to go to penalties. I don't want it to be close. And
I
I
think
think,
the Argentina just I don't know how they do it, but they just handle those mind games very well. And
yeah,
I don't see England doing the same. So um yeah, they gotta avoid penalties. They gotta avoid extra time. That's the when Argentina just starts to take the advantage if you let it get that long. Here's what I see needs to happen tomorrow is well, one, I'm not too worried with how England's been playing defense. I think they play hard, they mark up, they don't let a lot get by that are just like, we didn't have a player slide to the center, a guy slip through. If they get beat, they get beat. England doesn't let teams score a bunch of goals against them. I'm not too worried about them defensively. I'm not even too worried about them, defensive strategy in the midfield. It all comes down to whether or not England can create offensive plays.
mhm.
And I think what they need to do is Anthony Gordon needs to keep that pressure on. They need to have a multi-dimensional attack There's got to be that nonstop threat, that potential that Gordon could break through and create a dangerous play. So that Argentina's got to be prepared for that. Two, there needs to be an attack, and this is just what I haven't seen from a lot of teams this World Cup. I haven't seen a ton of that attack from outside the 18. That 10 yards outside of the 18 where you're getting guys just creating space and willing to take a shot on the ball.
Yeah.
Do it. Get
Pull the
a shot.
trigger.
Because guess what happens? You start doing you show that you're not scared to do it. And you start launching a few that get close. A man's going to start stepping to that guy on the 18. That's a quick ball through to Gordon, a quick ball through to
A
Kane.
deflection shot. It hits off someone, goes
Yeah,
in. You never
create
know.
dangerous opportunities. And then
Yeah.
we got to get Saka back in the game. He's dangerous on the wing. He can cut in. He's England's version of Vinny Jr. is kind of how I see him. Just
Yeah.
shifty guy, but he's got to be more dangerous. We need dangerous players that can be a
Yeah.
little bit selfish in their positions. Defensively, though, we're blood. We do not let Argentina touch the ball without us breathing down their necks.
Yeah.
And we let them know that the whole game, never let off, which England's been okay at that. They can't
Yeah.
let up. It's got to, if anything, it's got to improve. But really, what's going to win this game for them is coming out with this multi-dimensional, a threat from, a breakthrough up top, the outside threat from Saka, and then creating some chances outside the box with shots from Jude, or, I wish Declan would creep up the field a little bit more. I haven't seen him. He's just been holding and making sure that the center's covered, which, okay, again, they've been good defensively. Teams haven't scored a lot of goals against them. That's probably partially contributed, but I wish he would creep up a little bit more into that, 10-yard area where if he gets an open shot, rip it, put it on
Well,
frame.
yeah.
A player commits to him, a little through ball to Kane or, Gordon up top if he can slide in.
Yeah, and I think when Declan, like you're saying, on him getting up there, that's what started the first goal against Mexico, was him doing like a 70-yard run.
Yeah,
If you
space
remember.
came to him and he actually ran through he was on the right side of the field. He gets the space, he runs through. England's pretty good on the cross ball. That's one thing. That ball that comes in from the box, they're good at the finish. They're good at finishing there. I think we've seen 3 or 4 goals this tournament with that exact kind of play. Run it down the wing, cross it in. England's ratio and converting those chances is pretty high. But again, it's that attack mindset instead of, if you get the ball and you've got space, take it. Take your
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, and
around if you've got the space.
Yeah, and I don't want to see Kane dropping off like he does in some games. Some games he stays high and makes shots. Like against Norway, he does that thing where he creeps back really deep and he peters around the midfield. And then when
He's
they move
not
forward, he's not there.
exactly. We need him up top.
Yeah.
And we don't need him on top. He's not a breakaway player, but he's a target player. You find
Yeah.
him, he holds the ball, you can play off Kane.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. And that's where Rashford, I think the few times Rashford has kind of come in, though, he's either come in for Kane or they just haven't played that style. But I kind of like Rashford holding back a little bit. Find Kane up top. Kane's got to be up top, though. He's that ball too. He can hold, and then the through ball either out to the wing or, Rashford cutting up and just tearing up through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Just creating these dangerous plays where we're just really stretching apart their defense.
Yeah, Rashford would typically, I think, go on the left side. That's where he's most comfortable. But yeah, I think they just have to take it to him. And another player who's Premier League Argentina is the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, where in the Premier League, he's never as good. Yeah, he's never the Argentina goalkeeper. Argentina players are known in the Premier League to wear their Argentina jerseys. They would wear it under their actual club jerseys because they just love their country so much. I mean, it is everything to them. And so Emi Martinez always goes up a few notches in world tournaments or international games and tournaments. And so I think if he gets hot early, he's going to be hard to get a ball past because he gets very emotional and his confidence can build up. And that's a dangerous Emi Martinez as a goalkeeper. If I want him to get scored on first shot, like that will sink him. But if he gets some blocks, he's going to start doing the thing where he's, doing funny faces and funny little dances, and so I really don't want to turn it into a game where he's building confidence right away. Then, the players are getting kind of starstruck by Messi because a lot of these players haven't played against most of Argentina's team. A few of them have back when like DePaul was on Atletico, and some of our like Jude has played against many of them. But I think collectively, I think they just need to come out, not be starstruck of Messi at all. I think they just need to get on Messi, never let him touch the ball. If they do, they teach him a lesson and just take it to him. But I think this
They got
game
to
is
show that, Messi's 39. Put him on his
right.
butt. Don't let him do anything. And here's the thing, Messi's a fantastic world-class player still at 39 years old. He's a goat. But England's got to shut him down, almost like with a vendetta to prove that he's not a goat.
Yeah,
That's
play
kind of the
play
mindset that they have to have, just cutthroat.
right. And just play like they do in the Premier League. I mean, the Premier League is so physical, it's so
Yes.
fast, it's so
The
like
problem I see with that is that this VAR is kind of ruining the intensity, the physical intensity.
slows the
Because
game down,
like you
kills
said,
momentum.
we've seen these PKs that, Kane got called for one against
Mexico.
Mexico. And it's like, yeah, okay, a hands on the back, technically a push in the back is a foul, but at what point is it a push? Because every single play, players have hands on each other. They're
Yeah.
knocking each other. So now we slow this down in VAR and we look at those individual plays and then we get to call if it's a foul or not. It's ruining that intensity that is
Hmm.
such a it's such an advantage to teams like England where they're used to playing like that. And this
Yeah.
VAR is totally hindering them. It totally. I mean, even let's just, not from a bias standpoint, but that is a strength of England, not typically a strength of our. It only helps Argentina
Hmm.
if you take away that intensity that England is capable of bringing. And so I blame a little bit of it on the VAR. But yeah, they need to bring that EPL level of intensity. They got to do it. Be careful in the box because they're going to call anything,
Yeah.
especially against Argentina. You cannot give them a chance to bring back one of your goals or to give them a goal on a PK.
Yeah.
In the
And
box, it is clean. You got to be clean. It is ball only,
right.
arms at your side, shoulder to shoulder only. Just keep your hands down. You cannot afford to where they look at it and it's like, okay, you patted him on the back. That love
Yeah.
pat, foul, PK. That
Yeah.
can't happen. Like we can't give him that. None of this. Oh, I kicked the ball and my leg and his leg both going for the ball touched each other. And under VAR review, that's a foul. He kicked them.
Yeah.
These are all normal contact plays that literally happens in every aspect of the field. And if it's not called there, it shouldn't be called in the box.
Yeah. So I think there's a few things. England have to come out. They have to dominate possession, but do something with possession. Don't be afraid to do the one-on-ones with Gordon and Saka on the right. They
Yep.
need to win. They need to win the midfield battle, which I think they can. They have better players in the midfield, and they need to high press this Argentinian team. They're older. I don't think they haven't played a top 15 team yet in the tournament, so this is
Yep.
their first test. And I think if England can do that, press them, there's going to be mistakes. They're going to put pressure on them. They're going to get, uh, I think they're going to get a little bit like, out of sorts. And then I think Jordan Pickford has to have a Mexico type game. We got to have good Pickford. Sometimes he can have games where you're like, oh, should he be England number one? And then he has games where you're like, he's absolutely England number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Mexico, good Pickford. Norway, just mid Pickford. But I mean, he has to be firing on all cylinders. I think he's a big player game too, though, and I think he'll show up big time. But yeah, I think
I
it's
think
just such a huge game. I'm so
we've got
excited,
the
but also I'm
players.
nervous
We've got the players, and yeah, it's the is England going to do what England normally does and show up with big names,
and get
but
a red
not
card. I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
but yeah, just fails to live to their potential.
Right,
'Cause,
right, right.
that it's scary. They should ultimately they need to prove that they're a top five team in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if you go beyond 20 minutes, you're all of a sudden the same. You're now the same. You've given them that mindset where they're going in like, dang, because I guarantee you, Argentina's everyone's whispering that they haven't played a big team yet. The toughest team they've played is Switzerland. So it's in their mind. you've got to capitalize it in the first 20 minutes.
And they've struggled this
Yeah.
World Cup. Like it hasn't been a cakewalk for them.
No.
They barely got past Cape Verde. They barely got past Egypt.
And they
They
barely got
barely got past
past
Switzerland had they
Switzerland.
not got a red
Ultimately,
card.
they got those goals at the end, but yeah, Switzerland down
They
a
didn't
man was
mean
still,
anything. Yeah.
yeah, it didn't mean anything. You look at the game, like that was a close game. They've had 3 games in a row where they barely snuck by
Right. And I
against not too good of teams. I can chalk up one game. You can have an off game and you can play bad against a bad team here and there, but
yeah.
you kind of did 3 in a row. Yeah, we can't let Argentina get away with a close game. England's got to come out. They will win this game if they can get a goal in the first 20 minutes and just get in their heads.
And don't play into the mind games of where Argentina's they're gonna draw fouls like crazy, especially if the momentum is with England. I watched in the game an Argentinian, I think winger or midfielder. He ran to the ball and knew he was gonna get there first. He runs, protects the ball, and the Swiss player comes in and runs into him because he had all the momentum, and it wouldn't have been a normal foul because the Argentinian could have just grabbed the ball and dribbled, but he chose to get their first stop and then take the contact like in basketball with the charge. He basically did that exact thing, and I just
Yeah.
was like, these
Yeah.
players, dude, they Argentinian players, I'll give it to them. They're very good at the game within the game.
Yes. Yeah.
And England cannot do that. If they get sucked in, if they get mad, they gets chippy, that only plays into
Yeah.
Argentina's hands. Like
Yeah.
they cannot, they just need to put their head down, go to
Be prepared
work,
for it, but
be
ultimately,
prepared for it. Yeah.
it's going to come like they have to go out and win this game. It's not going to be a game where they go and just play normal England ball and possession and eventually a chance opens up and it's a low scoring game and we win 2-1. That's not what's going to happen. Like they have to go out. They've got to play solid D, but they have to go out with the mindset of winning and taking this from Argentina.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be incredible. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the game I wanted to touch on. But I think ultimately England this is the first game where they can really show everybody they can play as a team. And I think if they can do that against Argentina, they can do the same thing against Spain and build that momentum. But
They
yeah,
got to build some confidence in them too. I mean, I think the last I mean, I love the Mexico game, but again, a close game. Mexico was a good team this year, but
mhm.
England, Spain's going out. They just beat France 2-0. They've got some serious mental game. Like
Yeah,
we're already having to prepare for the next game. And so if we just keep sneaking by these teams, like England now has to make a mental message to everyone. Like, go out and win this game. It can be close, but show that you went out and won it. And it wasn't off a PK. It wasn't off technicalities. There's none of this, conspiracy if the ball hit the wire and it helped create your goal. Uh,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on that play?
I don't know.
I've
I
seen
haven't.
videos and I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll watch it and I'm like, that definitely hit a wire. And then
Yeah,
I'll watch it and I'm like, I don't know. It's
I
like,
think it's odd because they don't have those camera systems in Europe, and
yeah,
so that's a very American thing. And so I don't know, honestly, because I'm sure their goal kicks can reach them, and depending on where the spider cam's at, I haven't
I don't mind
really.
the cams being there, but like,
Yeah, I
it's
haven't
got to be
done.
called as a dead ball. So
Yeah, and I haven't, to be honest, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole and studied the replays and stuff. Part of me is just
yeah,
like, is there really a sensor in that ball? Like with the whole Croatia hair thing. Like if I was FIFA, I'd just be like, oh yeah, there's a sensor, and then
sensor.
oops, it
Uh,
doesn't. It hit the wire, but the sensor didn't pick it up. You know what I mean? So
it
I
touched the
I don't
hair,
even
but
know
it
if there
couldn't pick up
can
a
they prove
wire.
to us can they prove to us that there's a sensor in the ball?
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what I
know.
want to
Show how
know.
it works. Have
Yeah,
offer it
cut it
real
out,
time.
cut it out.
Touch the ball and show that it's sensing things. I don't know how to prove that, but
Yeah.
eh,
If
yeah.
it did, that sucks for Norway. Like, but England's been on the other side of that for so many tournaments and just
It
bull crap
again,
like that.
you can't. It's not a sport where you have these excuses. It touched a wire and it changed its trajectory by maybe a few feet at midfield. If that's what you're crying about, that changed the game, then like the game wasn't yours to be had in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but there's a mental side of it though, that England's got to go out and capitalize against Argentina, for that next game because
Yeah.
yes, we got to worry about one game at a time, but part of this one game is sending a message that England can dominate good teams,
Yeah, I think
not just squeak by.
yeah.
Dominate.
England now England is of the teams remaining. They have never won a Euros. The last World Cup was 66. They are the underdogs when it comes to collecting trophies internationally and as a country. And so I think you're right. This is huge. If they can win this game, if they lose, it's still a great tournament. You got to the semis, great things. Tuchel built a good squad. It's not going to feel like. I think if they play hard and lose, it'll still be like, dang it. But also that, I mean, getting to the semis is a big deal. Great tournament. But if they can win, I mean, that just England hasn't been to a finals in so long that just reaching the finals is such a huge boost for all things for the country, for the team. Like, yeah, so I'm just really hoping that it's just a good solid game. I was really nervy during the Norway game and for most of it, to be honest, and I get really superstitious. So I'd thrown my jersey off because I didn't want to give them any bad mojo. And so
Like old days.
like old days. And so I just couldn't deal with it. And they were very nervy, but they still dug it out. And so I'm hoping that this is a team solid play where it just feels like they control the game. Like today with Spain and France. Spain dominated from the get-go, and I want to see that same thing from England.
Yeah. Um, Agreed. Yeah, they got to come out and even if I mean, when I say dominate, I'm not saying it's got to be a 3-0, 4-0 game. It can be a 1-0, it can be a 2-1 game,
No, I
but it's
am.
just
Harry Kane
clear.
hat trick. Harry Kane hat
We
trick.
want that. I want a 7-1 Germany versus
Yeah.
Brazil type
Yeah.
game right here. But
Yeah. Oh, dude,
ultimately,
that would
it
be
just has to be clear.
that is in the realm of possibility.
It is. Because I mean, Germany, I think that same year hadn't scored. I think they just about scored half of their goals in one game. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think that they were super high scoring up until that point. They just exploited Brazil and then repeatedly violated them,
Yeah.
which we need England to do. But what I'm saying is, back to what I'm saying. Um, England has to you have to walk away from that game knowing that England won that game.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, it could have gone either way. It was like 2-1, but it's like, no, England owned that game, even though it was close. It's 2-1. England wins 1-0. Yeah, England had, 12 shots on goal to Messi's VAR one shot on
Yeah.
goal, which was an
His
out of
VAR
bounds.
penalty. And
VAR
he's
says
he's
that
missed he's missed what, two PKs this tournament so far?
has he? I thought it was just one.
No, it's two at
Okay.
this point. And so, I mean, that's the thing. If there's a PK, the coach is going to be like Messi or somebody else. I don't know.
Is it two PKs?
I'm pretty sure it's two. I'm pretty dang sure it's
Get
two.
Gramo to just fight back the messy freaking clan base, fan base, whatever. Yeah, we got to win this game tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm
Let's go
nervous.
England.
Yeah, England, three Lions.
England, England, England. Let's go.
I'm USA till I die, but England's the motherland, and
Yeah,
teams left.
I think as Americans, most of us have like we support USA obviously, but then
Yeah,
we know we're so bad that we have to have a good country to root for.
it's you've got your home country, and then you have your second country,
You have your home country and then you have your competitive country.
which yeah, it's
Yeah,
oh
I became an England fan when like 2006 World Cup, Rooney, Gerrard, all those guys. They played, watched them. They lost to Portugal in a shootout.
yeah,
But since then, my dad was already kind of a fan of England. He had a jersey and had been over there, and that kind of got me, indoctrinated. And so since then, I've just been England. So I
yeah,
know we both follow the Premier League. We know all the players, but it just would they're a great bunch, and you can watch all their behind the scenes on their
yeah,
YouTube channel, and they're just a good group of guys, like
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
solid
like
group
the
of guys.
a fantastic organization. Of course, they're the structured football within the country itself with the leagues. It's top notch. There's nothing better anywhere in the world. The EFL is the best, football association out there. And so yeah, I think that translates all the way up though, like just how much they respect the sport and how serious they take it. It's just admirable. It's respectful. They're a respectful team. They come with a solid team every single World Cup. Whether they win or not, they are, taking teams to the end of the game, which is what I
Yeah.
like to see. And I agree. I think I'd probably, started like in England about that same time. Really, I mean, it kind of goes back to my boy Cristiano Ronaldo and his rise and move over to Manchester United. Of course, we knew who David Beckham was, but that's really when I started watching the EPL, which
Yeah.
then made me watch the EPL players, and then
Right.
from there it's just
Well, did you
not to
go to
mention
the
it's my motherland. So yeah,
did you go to the game? Do you remember in 2007? It was fresh off. It might have still been 2006. Fresh off the World Cup, Real
Mm.
Madrid came and played Real Salt Lake at Rice Eccles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
players came, but we had no idea really how big
yeah.
they really were. Raul,
Roberto
Beckham,
Carlos,
Roberto
yeah. And
Carlos.
they brought in grass and they filled it to capacity. And like
Yeah.
when Beckham stepped on the field, do you remember how the stadium just lit
Yes.
up with camera? But like that is such a core memory for me. And that was when I was just like, dude, like,
This is so much bigger than what we think it is. Yeah.
yeah. And I just was entranced. Like he got up to come on the field and the whole stadium,
Just
because it's
erupted with lights.
pre-phones, erupted, and I just was like, I am seeing a soccer icon right now. And he
Yeah.
came in and just the way he passed and trapped the ball, and it was like I was watching someone on like not just one level above RSL, because we'd go at Rice Eccles
I
University
know.
Stadium and watch them play, and it was just, they tried
Yeah.
their best. But then seeing him touch the ball, it was like he's like exponentially above these MLS
Yeah.
players. And I didn't even think that was possible because we'd watch the RSL pros in their inaugural season and we're just like, whoa, these guys are so good. And then he's seeing them play. I mean, they were toying with Real Salt Lake. And then his free kicks and things was just like, gave me the belief like, oh, like I can get good like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It was I mean, it's amazing. Like at a young age, we could spot the difference. I mean, it is clear there's a difference between, and the MLS has gotten a lot better since
yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Now they're,
still, it's still clear how much better the EPL is.
yeah,
Um, yeah, again, we could go into a whole nother show on the MLS. We'll have to put some notes down and go over all that too. But
yeah.
um, yeah, it was cool. My upbringing in soccer, because we're Americans, it's not like I had my parents that could teach me like, oh, these are the greatest teams, these are the greatest players. It
You
was
find
us
them.
figuring it out for ourselves.
Yeah,
Those moments where you go to RSL versus, Real Madrid and you see these players and you kind of, oh yeah, I get other places in the world like soccer more, but you don't really understand the level of what it was until you see it in person. Then you're like, holy cow, like I'm witnessing like Michael Jordan level fame, Michael
yeah.
Jordan level like aura from
Right,
these
right.
players. And
Yeah,
it's like,
that was the first time I probably witnessed true aura in real life.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
like we're like 10 years old or something, 11 years
yeah,
old with watching him come on the field. And
yeah.
yeah, from that point
The
on,
equivalent of watching a prime Michael Jordan number 23 jersey come down the hallway and step onto the court.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Americans don't get that there are players that are that equivalent today, right now, that are Michael Jordan level, aura players. If not, I mean, I put Ronaldo and Messi higher than even Michael Jordan. And I'll argue
on
until
a
I die
global, yeah,
on a global stage. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with a sport that's that big and how big they were in that sport. Nothing to take away Jordan. He's one of my favorite,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sporting
yeah,
icons of all time. But it's a good analogy I like to use for Americans. I'm not trying to take away from him, but to paint the idea of how good these players that are in existence today, the level of their fame is on par with Jordan.
yeah. Okay, man. Well, I think we've set the stage good. Uh,
Oh,
Prayers up. I'm going to be watching intently. I think that I really think they can do it. I'm excited. I'm equally excited and nervous, but I think as the game goes on, I'm just going to be supporting and screaming at the TV
yeah.
for these guys to get it done. Like
Yep.
Come on, lads, get it done.
Get it done, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to see what I want to see from England. Again, I just want to paint this real quick. Intensity out the get-go. Absolute intensity. Nothing conservative. Don't hold
Yep.
back. Don't be this, predictable team.
Yeah, don't
Get
be the
out.
possession heavy, no
Yeah.
creativity or attacking
Just
threat.
just trust that you guys are ingrained enough that the possession it'll come. You don't need
And
to
you're
worry
better than
about that.
them. Yeah.
Go out and prove with your intensity. Make sure that they know within the first 2 minutes of that game that you're bigger, stronger, faster than them.
Yeah.
Saw that intensity in Mexico. The first, like when they played, like the first few minutes, I was like, dang, I am so freaking, I love England. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
then it kind of, the intensity died down, their possession and, focus stayed there. The intensity picked back up after the red card, but defensively, and they just, it was fight to the death, defend the Alamo. I love that game. One of the
Yeah.
best, still the best game in my mind of the World Cup so far.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, just bring the intensity. But yeah, prayers are up.
I'm excited, dude. This is gonna be fun. This is
Dude,
gonna
I
be
know.
fun. You have to revel in these moments because, like I said, the last time they played each other, 2005. So like, we have to live in the moment, right?
And,
Tomorrow,
and and
like,
and just remember, this is a huge international rivalry. In all honesty, I don't know of any international rivalry bigger than this one, England and Argentina, aside from maybe Argentina and Brazil.
right, right.
Like, I mean, what other? I mean, I think England versus France would have been a great, final.
Yeah,
I was
that's a
really hoping for that
classical.
because that's just, I mean, the rivalry outside of soccer, just England and
Hundreds of
France,
years.
just,
Yeah,
oh, dude, forever.
yeah,
But Spain will still be a good game. I think France would have been a funner game for whoever wins tomorrow to be in the final. But yeah, tomorrow's game is huge. It is gonna be huge. It's
yeah.
we're probably expecting well over 1 billion viewers tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow's game.
So, okay, dude. Well, let's get it
Okay.
done.
All
We'll
right.
let's give our reactions after the game, though, good or bad.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do
So,
it.
okay,
All
let's
right.
go.
Signing
Let's
off.
go.
Three Lions.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Night before the game, the eve.
Let's go.
Let's
It's
get
like
it
Christmas
done.
Eve. It literally, this is bigger than
Dude, I
Christmas Eve
know
right now.
because I'll tell you my next my next actions are gonna go to lie to my bed. My head will hit the pillow. Phone comes out and I start reading my forums.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is very much I won't be able to sleep. I will just keep thinking of ways to imagine that England's just gonna take it to them, dude.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll let you go.
Okay. Go England.
Okay, go England. Bye bye.